Okay, folks, so we're going to show you guys some images here, nothing graphic, and we're not going to show the video because we can't show that here. But Al Jazeera has acquired leaked IDF drone footage showing the IDF killing 4 unarmed Palestinians in Khan Yunis using drone strikes. The footage clearly shows to terrorize and instill fear in Palestinians as a means to coerce them into leaving Gaza permanently. So there they are. You can see the 4 dark shapes there walking in a leveled area. You could tell this has been bombed and grazed over. You could see by the track marks in the dirt there. And then an explosion, and then this is blurred out, obviously. But they were killed. Walking, unarmed, middle of the day, out of nowhere, boom.
Yep.
Alex Jones tweets, Israel has lost the high ground. This is not war. It's robotic mass genocide. Section 1091 of Title 18 U.S. Code prohibits genocide whether committed in time of peace or time of war. Genocide is defined in 1901 and includes violent attacks with the specific intent to destroy, 1091, and includes violent attacks with the specific intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Alex Jones, who has been, oddly pro-Israel, not like fanatically pro-Israel, but of all the anti-establishment positions he's taken over the years, criticizing Israel has been oddly absent from that list until very recently, obviously. The Israeli government recently said they don't care if the whole world turns on Israel. They are going to expand the war. The whole world has turned on them. Remember, the disgraceful video below, which we just showed you some screenshots of that, was leaked by Israel's own defense ministry. You can't bomb and slowly starve people on TV and not become the bad guys in the eyes of the world. Kill Hamas, not children. Biden getting outflanked on the left by Checks Notes Alex Jones. November should go great for genocide. Joe, yes. Good observation. There, like I said, he's still, you could tell from that last sentence, still more on their side than against them, but now he's saying they have committed genocide. He's using that G word, and you know who else is finally using the G word? Some of the squad members, finally. Look at that. Cori Bush, Congress and the White House just banned life-saving UNRWA funding while greenlighting over $3 billion in aid to the Israeli government to fund Netanyahu's continued slaughtering of innocent Palestinians. St. Louis doesn't want our tax dollars used to fund a genocide.
Wow.
Cori Bush
wow.
is currently trailing in the polls to an AIPAC-funded primary challenger. They have her in their sights. But she's doubling down. She finally calls it a genocide. That's nice to hear. And look at this. Breaking. AOC just gave a powerful speech demanding a suspension in the transfer of U.S. weapons to Israel. If you want to know what an unfolding genocide looks like, open your eyes. So she finally used this word. She lied to the guy outside the movie theater the other day and said she did.
I was going to say, that's what got to her.
Yeah, maybe that's what got to her. Well, look, in all seriousness, this is why you pressure politicians so that they will do things like this. Now, I think this is far too late to influence things, which we'll talk about as the segment goes on. But here's some video of AOC on the House floor.
Moment, 1.1 million innocents in Gaza are at famine's door. A famine that is being intentionally precipitated through the blocking of food and global humanitarian assistance by leaders in the Israeli government. This is a mass starvation of people, engineered and orchestrated, following the killing of another 30,000, 70% of whom were women and children killed. If you want to know what an unfolding genocide looks like, open your eyes.
So, there you have that. So now you're getting to a point where Alex Jones and AOC are in agreement on the genocide word. The ADL bitched about this, not surprisingly.
Oh,
genocide requires intent. Oh, yeah, and Israel has been patently clear in its objectives.
The Open-Gruppenführer says,
yeah.
this is not ACCUSE.
Yeah, exactly. To cripple Hamas terrorists and release the hostages, AOC's accusation lacks proper factual or legal foundation. Such statements merely perpetuate false claims and foster hate. No, you know what fosters hate? When 4 people are walking through ruins and they get blown away, even though they're obviously no threat to anybody. So, yeah, the ADL chimed in. And here's another indication that the Biden administration is under massive pressure here. Like I said, when Alex Jones and AOC are both using the genocide word, that means you have a very, very, very broad spectrum of the population that is now in agreement that what's happening is just unforgivable.
Well, this is what we've been saying all along. This is what Caitlin Johnston said very early. We're not fans of cancellation or cancel culture. But for people who have been very publicly supporting what Israel is doing in Gaza, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do later.
Yes.
Like the wall is already crumbling. It's already coming down. These crimes are too horrific, and it's too the footage is too available of what they're actually doing. There's just too much evidence. It's mounting day by day. People can see that this is a genocide in real time. You were never going to be able to hide that forever. And they haven't even been able to hide it for very long. At this point, yes, when you have Kamala Harris getting on board, I already know when I was in England, I was talking to my daughter. She was at a party where 2 Israeli women who were in museum curation were talking about how they can't get work anymore because they're Israeli. You just wait. The people who have the star in their profile and everything, you better take that shit down. That's all I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, well, Kamala didn't call it a genocide, but Kamala now,
she's
as we could see here, VP Harris says she isn't ruling out possible consequences if Israel invades Rafah against U.S. requests not to do so. So let's take a look at this video.
Have been clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go. And we're looking at about 1.5 million people in Rafah who are there because they were told to go there, most of them. And so we've been very clear that it would be a mistake to move into Rafah with any type of military operation.
A mistake, but would there be consequences if he does move forward?
Well, we're going to take it one step at a time, but we've been very clear in terms of our perspective on whether or not that should happen.
Are you ruling out that there would be consequences from the United States?
I am ruling out nothing.
So what you're seeing is an administration that is completely desperate. They are desperate right now. They have to stop him from going in there because otherwise this is becoming existential for their party. The election's probably lost. Like we said on the last show, people, ordinary people, you know, whether they're right-wingers or left-wingers or even the shit-libs, even a lot of the centrist rank-and-file people, right? It takes a certain bloodlessness to rise in the ranks to power. Ordinary people have a limit as to what they can take.
Right.
And a ground invasion of Rafah, where no doubt some of the people are going to fight back, which the Israelis are going to take as license to truly mow the lawn in ways that I don't even want to talk about because it's too horrific to even articulate. That is past a point of no return for most people. And they now understand that they cannot have that happen. And so this Rafah invasion is really looking like a final showdown. And unfortunately, because the Democrats, from Biden and Kamala to AOC and Cori Bush, have been so weak on this for so long, Netanyahu now holds all the cards because they're going to lose this election to Trump. And so worst case, Netanyahu spits in their face and invades Rafah anyway, and they say, okay, that's it. This is over, right? Let's just imagine that. And I don't think they'll go that far, but let's imagine they went that far. Okay, the special relationship, done. We wash our hands of it.
Yeah,
Guess what?
They'll never do that.
They're never going to do that, but I'm just saying, let's just say they do,
Sure.
right? Let's say even in a fantasy world where they went that far. Netanyahu knows in 8 months, Donald Trump's going to be president again, and he'll put the relationship right back where it is now. So by being so weak for so long, they have handed all of the power to Netanyahu. They have no leverage over him. They're desperate. They are flailing. They need him to call this off, and he's not going to, because in a few months, they're going to lose the election, and Trump's going to be back, which is the outcome Netanyahu wants anyway. And this is why, like for all the disappointments that Bernie, has become over the years, this is why we said at the time, the Bernie thing is the canary in the coal mine, because for years we have been saying the Democrats have to be correct on issues like this from day one. When you suck on these issues year after year after year, cycle after cycle after cycle, you're withering away your base of actual substance-based support, to the point where once you reach a final showdown like this, where it is Joe Biden needing something from Benjamin Netanyahu, guess what? You got nothing. You got nothing, because it's already too late to save your ass in November. Netanyahu knows that, which means there's nothing stopping him from putting boots on the ground in Rafah. And what you're seeing now is a Democratic Party that I think has realized how fucked they are. They might not understand why, but they realize now, wow, we have really backed ourselves into an inescapable corner on this issue. And now we are at this fucking guy's mercy, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the ultimate victims of that, tragically, are the people in Gaza.
Yes, it is very unlikely that Netanyahu is going to call it off. This is a theocratic ethno-state driven by a belief in biblical prophecy, divine right to the land, the dehumanization of the enemy as unholy, as unclean, as Philistines, to go back to a biblical descriptor. So nothing's going to stop them. What I will say is Trump's president, Trump's not president, whatever. The horror of what that is going to look like on the world stage is going to be the end of Israel for all effects and purposes. Nations expelling their ambassadors, the end of trade relationships, certainly the end of arms sales from maybe everybody but us.
Right.
To the point that even Trump, you said it well, the claim was he's not a politician, he's a businessman. Actually, it turns out he's a shitty businessman and a good politician. He could change his mind. Like, he could, if it's horrible images of starving and slaughtered families coming out, the entire world turns on Israel. Trump could very well. Do you think he really personally has beliefs, has strong
no, I
political
don't think so.
convictions? So if the wind blows that strongly in that direction, Trump will write him off too.
It's a good point. I mean, it's possible because, when I was on with Kit, while Russell, if you were, I think, in London at the time, or somewhere that you couldn't be on the show, Kit said, when this gets to 50,000, when this gets to 100,000, and that might sound jarring, but that's not outside the realm of possibility.
That was Fat Tuesday
whatsoever. Oh, that was Fat Tuesday. That's right. That's right. That's not outside the realm of possibility whatsoever. If a ground invasion happens, there are 1.5 million people living there on the streets. There's going to be some resistance if Israel invades. So, what you think Israel is going to take that as a cue to do targeted counter? No, they're going. It is going to be an actual bloodbath.
Yes,
to use a term that has been taken out of context recently.
Much abused lately.
Yes, indeed.
Please clap.